So I think in high school that I pinned 116 people of the 124 that I wrestled. I'm pretty sure I lost the other 6 matches, but I pinned a lot of people, okay? But the one thing that helped me was that I had an attitude that I was going to be so aggressive on top that you were just uncomfortable. You were like, what is this dude's problem, right? Instilling that attitude and that mentality into your guys, that when you're on top, you have so much pressure. Your knee is so much pressure up the butt. You have so much weight on the hand. You are constantly taking. You are constantly looking for the cradle. You are taking and putting their arm on their back. You watch that mentality you watch your guys just run through people, okay, on top. And now, when you're drilling, when you're sparring, it all translates over. So one thing, I'm probably detracting a little bit, but one thing that always encourage your athletes to do is that the position is, Leroy Smith taught me this, okay? Leroy Smith was national champ for Oklahoma State. He, in the Olympics, so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into that story. But he taught me when I was at Oklahoma State, he came in the room and he'd be in his underwear coming out of the sauna teaching his technique. Super weird, but he always did it. And he would say, why are you not putting them to their belly or their back off of every drill? I'm like, well, that's not the drill. And he's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a drill or not. When you teach your guys to drill, when you teach them to hit technique, when you teach them to spar, when you wrestle them live, do not accept a takedown and they simply just stop at this moment and go 3 and get back up. Always have your athletes drill all the way to at least they're on their belly and they're flat. This is our final position. I got an arm here, or leg in. Or they're cradle. Okay? So those are some of the basic principles that we do in every position for what we just call great position in every position. And if you start to watch your guys, you're going to watch, like, I'm not saying this because I'm just confident in myself. I'm saying this because I've seen it and I watch it. When you start to teach your kids to drill all the way through, you can teach them to spar. You can teach them to be creative. They start creating their own feels. They have good feels. A great story that I love to tell is while I was in high school, I was coaching a guy by the name of Chandler Rogers. He went on to be a 2-time All-American at Oklahoma State. And he used to pin everybody in high school in the assassin. And I was like, dude, listen, I'm okay with you pinning people, but this is not going to work when you get to OSU. It's just not going to happen. Like, you need to stop. And I learned a valuable lesson. His first match, he's wrestling a big duel. He assassins the guy, he pins him. Within 35 seconds, I get a text that said, I thought you said I could never hit this. Right? So the point of the story is that when you teach your guys to wrestle through positions, then you can teach them to spar through positions. And then they can start being creative and developing their feels. They're very unique feels, okay? I'll give you an example of a Kansas guy. We got Tay Wilson on our team. Love Tay. Absolute animal. He's already a problem in our room, okay? In a good way. I was talking to him yesterday. The older guys kind of figured him out. He was sitting in the corner. He was rolling a little bit. I kept telling him, I was like, you got to sprawl before you sit. You got to sprawl before you roll. You got to sprawl before you get into these scrambles. Well, the older guys kind of figured him out in the first half live yesterday for the first time. And I pulled him aside and I'm like, listen, just sprawl first and watch what happens. Boom! He stuck to his basic principle. He sprawled, he went behind. Next time, sprawled, started to go behind, sat the corner, put him on his back. Okay? Sometimes you gotta have basic principles that you live by, but then you let them be creative and wrestle to who they are. I didn't recruit you because you were supposed to wrestle like me. I recruited you for the things that you're good at, but that only happens if you give your athletes the freedom to do it and to go for it. And that happens by having basic principles that you drill through. You drill through every position every time you drill, and then you put them in a spar and you let them be creative and find their feels off of your basic principles. Okay? So any questions?